Welcome back, ACPS staff. In this video, we're going to talk about our next menu option for navigating the paper to digital site, and that is the option to search by apps. Just as we saw in the last video with the by projects option, if you hover here, you'll get a vertical drop down of all of the applications listed alphabetically. And then some of those companies that we work with that provide an entire suite of tools like Google and Microsoft have their own little arrow here to toggle and see all of the various applications included within this larger umbrella here for both Google and Microsoft. But just as we saw with the By Projects option, if we click on the menu option that says By Apps here at the top, it takes us to an entire page dedicated to the applications that are featured somewhere here on the paper to digital website. So starting alphabetically with that Google heading, that Microsoft heading, and then finally our other or all of the other applications that we work with. Now, when we first designed the paper to digital, we had in mind that teachers would decide first what project they wanted students to create. I know I want my students to make a book cover. And then they would start thinking about which application. But when we were doing a training one day on using and navigating our paper to digital website, a teacher had a great idea. He said, well, what if I now know that my students know how to use Google Slides, and I would like to see what other project types they could use Google Slides to create. Instead of going to the By Projects, it might be nice to take a look at a specific application and see which projects it lends itself to. And that was the inspiration behind this whole second way of navigating on the website, was to start with the application you want your students to use, and then go look at the project types next. So I'm going to go ahead and click here on Google Slides. And what we're going to come to is a page here dedicated entirely to slides. At the very top, we've got a little blurb about what slides is, what its function is in the Google Suite, and so on. And then over here on the left-hand side, as we scroll down, we see all of the different projects that have slides featured on their matrices. So if you were interested in doing book covers, book reports, brochures, comic strips, memes, postcards, student portfolios, symbolic representations, trading cards, and so on, you would find slides listed on the matrix with that comparison of the features that are and are not supported in that. We've also given you a task card over here on the right-hand side. Now, this task card is not any specific project being created in Google Slides. It is just a generic step-by-step set of instructions for how to begin creating in Google Slides if you're not familiar with it. Once again, if I click on a particular project, like let's say I want my students to create a meme, this is going to take me to the project page that we saw in the last video when we looked at posters. We've got here the matrix, where it shows all of the different applications that are featured for creating memes, not just the Google Slides application that got us here, but everything else. And again, that side-by-side comparison. So just focusing down here on this voice recording row, if I decided that I would like my students to be able to record their voice, I might choose to move away from slides, which was my initial thought for what I would want students to use. But now I might choose instead to have them use Microsoft PowerPoint, or I might choose to have them use Smart Notebook or Wixie, because those actually support that voice recording option there. So same matrix that we saw, we're just getting to it from a different starting point, which is which app do I think I want my students to use? You'll also find at the top, again, same matrix, that option to click here. And instead of the last task card that we saw that was just generic instructions for how to use Google Slides, if we open this one and navigate to the slides page here, these are step-by-step instructions for how to create a meme, meaning add the specific content that would be included in a meme, like a picture and text. So much less instructions than the generic task card that just is designed to help someone get to know how to use slides for any project type. So I hope this helps you guys understand the second menu option, navigating on the site, which is the option to search by the application you might like your students to use first, and then think about the projects as your second step.